Hello my friends, welcome to Anna's Violets. This video is a short update about my terrarium. I'm going to show you the moss and the plants, how they are growing, and also what you can do with watering and condensation on the walls. Besides that, I'm going to show you who is living in my terrarium. I have 3 pets which are actually living in my terrarium for a couple of months already. You see this speed up version of my snail eating the lettuce. And this video is going to be quite interesting about terrarium, but also in general about the life in the terrarium. So stay tuned and we are starting. The moss and the plants in my terrarium are growing perfectly for a couple of months already. You can notice that there is a condensation on the walls of the terrarium. This is absolutely normal. Especially in the very beginning, I was trying to find out how often I need to water and how much I need to water it. And you can have terrarium absolutely closed, so you can have a lid and the water will evaporate to the top of the terrarium and then will slide back again into the soil. If it's too much, you can take a napkin, something dry, a tissue, anything, and can remove the excess of water from the terrarium. Usually the condensation is only on the one side of the terrarium, and usually this side is the one closer to the window and to the light. This is absolutely normal. With the time you will feel how much you should water your terrarium and how often. You have of course noticed that there is life in my terrarium, and this is just one of my pets living in the terrarium. I have 3, so stay till the end of the video to get to know all 3 pets in my terrarium. So this one is of course this very wonderful cute little brown snail with dark dots on it. It's absolutely amazing. It's just a baby snail, and I found it on a lettuce that we brought from the store. I was going to put the lettuce in the fridge, and then I noticed this cute snail and I decided not to throw it outside to live in nature because it was winter, snow and cold. Of course the snail would not survive, so I put it in my terrarium and decided, why not, let's see how it will feel in the terrarium, and I will let it go in the spring. Slugs and snails belong to the phylum Mollusca and are more closely related to Octopi than insects. They are much like some insects in their biology. Their damage to ornamental plants and houseplants resembles that done by caterpillars. Slugs and snails are in a subgroup called Gastropoda, the members of which have a head, a ventral muscular foot, and a shell, internal in slugs and external on snails. With few exceptions, native species are solitary in habit and do little or no damage. This is according to the University of Florida. Slugs and snails leave silvery slime trails on the ground and over the plants, and I can see it also on my Fittonia, on my asparagus, on the lettuce, on the walls of my terrarium, actually everywhere. Slugs are able to crawl over the sharp edge of a razor blade without harm. Slugs and snails may consume several times their own body weight each night. So I leave 1 leaf of lettuce per day, and if the snail is walking around in the terrarium, most probably the most part of the lettuce will be gone. On several days I have noticed that the leaf is there, but the snail has not even touched it. Most probably the snail on that day wasn't outside. Where was it? You will see in a second. But now I wanted just to show you how it's eating, and for me, I don't know, I can observe this snail for like hours, especially when it's eating or when it's walking around, because for me it's really interesting to see how it's chewing, how it's tearing this lettuce apart. Of course it's like kind of, in case of a snail you can't really believe it. However, it's so cute to see how it kind of chews this lettuce, and it goes through its transparent head, transparent body inside of the snail. This is just absolutely amazing, and I would never think that a snail is able to actually bite pieces of a leaf of a lettuce. But here you can see it's of course moving here around and trying to kind of find the best spot to eat. It starts from the very tiny, very thin parts of the leaf, but then you can see after a second or two the leaf is already covered with holes, and this is how my snail is eating it. This is just amazing. You can see that it has kind of a tube, a mouth. I don't know, it's a little bit darker, but with that it can actually make holes on the leaves and actually, yeah, bite it and chew it and eat it. This is just absolutely amazing and fantastic. And sometimes kids like to collect, you know, snails from outside, from the fields, from the forest, and sometimes they play with them and throw them away or smash them. And I would really wish some kids to see this video, how cute the snails are. And I wish that the parents would show this video also to their kids, so that the kids can also kind of observe the snail from, you know, from very closely, and notice that how they live, how they eat, how they move around. They will definitely appreciate the life in this form, in this variety, and will not damage, will not harm the insects. Of course, for some of us, they may seem, I don't know, a little bit not so nice. Maybe for us, insects are sometimes a little bit, we don't really want to touch them. However, this is so beautiful. This is just amazing. Besides that, every insect, every animal, everything on the planet has its mission, and snails are also food for many birds, ducks, moles, toads. They feed on slugs, so if you eradicate all slugs, then you are actually removing the food for all these other types of species. So it's very important not to harm, you know, the nature in general, the plants and also the insects. Besides that, dry weather may kill up to 90% of slug eggs and young per year. So this is huge. So if in 1 year there will be a higher temperatures than normal, the slugs and the snails may just, you know, the majority of them will die. And here is a leaf of lettuce that you can see, leaves actually. This is how in 1 day my snail is eating this much of the lettuce. And of course, every day there's another leaf. And sometimes the snail goes under the surface of the soil. Here you can see also some ticks walking around. It's absolutely normal. This is life in the soil. And this way, I think the snail is trying to get rest and also tries to absorb the moisture from the soil through its body. Besides that, here is the third hero, and this is a pillbug. This pillbug came again with the moss that I was collecting from the forest, and it was again cold, and I said, okay, let me just take this pillbug, see how it will feel in the terrarium, and then again in the spring I'm going to let it go in the same forest where I took it from. It's just very close to our place. So here it's the speed, how it moves around, but now in a second I will show you a little bit faster, so just so that you can see what are the movements, how it's walking around. Sometimes the pillbug likes to, you know, crawl up the stick that I have in my terrarium, because it feeds on kind of fungus, I think, and it's very moist, of course, in the terrarium, and I think it finds something to eat on the stick, because very often I see it there walking around, or just, you know, just like this, I think sleeping. Very often my snail also goes up the stick and sits on it, and just, I think it just thinks about something nice, because it just stretches like this and doesn't move at all, and it can stay like this for hours. Sometimes they even meet. But I'm not sure if my snail really likes these meetings with the pillbug. I'm not really sure, because it looks like it's like, oh, go away, don't touch me. And I think the pillbug is not even aware that there is a snail. It just doesn't care. And again, with the lettuce, the third pet in my terrarium, with the lettuce, it was a small slug, really tiny. It's just 2, 3, maybe 4 millimeters long, really small. Here maybe you will not really feel it. Slugs are eating rotten things in the soil. So these 3 pets are living in my terrarium, and all 3 will be again living in the forest in the spring when the temperatures are a little bit warmer. But for now, I'm really enjoying observing these 3 insects and really, you know, observing them, learning from them, and just admiring the nature. This much for today. I hope you like it. If you have any terrariums, I would really love to know what you are growing in them, if you have snails, if you have other insects in them, and stay passionate about plants and snails and slugs and in general nature, and I'll see you next time.